Hi, everybody. I'm so excited that you're here. And I am so honored to be able to have the friendship of Cami Baker and being a part of the Legacy Listings and Real Estate Agents of Change. I'm so excited for the nonprofits that are going to be able to benefit from everything that Cami has been doing. And she's just a heart of gold, and I'm so honored to be part of her program. So here we are, the Charitable Giving of Real Estate Movement founder and Real Estate Agent of Change, Cami Baker. Thank you so much, Cami.
Well, thank you for having me, Gerry. Anytime I can explain a little bit more to the public about how charitable gifting of real estate works, it's my honor. $9 billion a year is donated to nonprofits through gifts of real estate. And we at the Real Agents of Change want to add $1 billion a year to that, but we can't do it by ourselves. We need great people like you. And when we met Gerry, we knew that we had an advocate that could bring millions of dollars to her very own community. So thank you for that. So everybody, we are going to have a 25-minute overview of what charitable gifting of real estate is, going to give you some statistics and let you know exactly what you came here to learn about. A little bit about my background. I've got a 15-year history being in real estate. When I had my real estate license in New Hampshire, I was out banging on doors and making phone calls and taking lots of listings, and I did a lot of real estate in that 15-year period. And I actually used my biggest commission check to buy my dream car, which was a 64.5 Mustang convertible, and that car led me into doing all kinds of car shows and lots of things in the community. And I learned just by sheer grit and determination that when I was having that car show, that if we donated the money from the car show to nonprofit, that it really helped us to build relationships in the communities. And that's how I really got started with what we call cause marketing. And so after many years in real estate and many years of doing fundraisers and helping nonprofits, a couple of years ago, I was at a conference and I heard the beautiful words that came together that brought real estate and nonprofit together, which is charitable gifting of real estate. Not something we invented, just something that we saw there was a major need in the marketplace to educate and inform people about. So here we are doing that. So I'm just going to share my screen and we are going to get started teaching you exactly that which you came here to learn about. So you'll notice that we call this legacy listings. Why? Because every donation of real estate, in order for us to give the proceeds to the nonprofits that deserve it and that the donor wants to have, we got to list it. We got to list that piece of real estate with the real estate agent so that they can liquidate it for us and we can give the money to the nonprofits. And we call them legacy listings because it helps the nonprofit leave legacy. It is a beautiful way for the property donor to leave the legacy in the world that they want to leave, and for the real estate agents like Gerry to be able to leave those legacies also. So we're going to talk about how you can leverage real estate for real change in your cause, your community, and your company. So let's start off talking about how this whole thing got started. So 1917, United States government said, look, if you own real estate and you will donate it to a legitimate 501c3, you can get a tax deduction. The donors can get tax deductions based on that. And the nonprofits actually have an asset that they can sell to fund their programs. So the donors actually have two main tax advantages. One is that they avoid capital gains tax, and two, they are able to write off the full appraised value as the basis for their tax deduction. And so it sounds simple enough. Donor says, hey, I've got this real estate. I want to donate it to my favorite nonprofit. Sounds like it would be an easy enough thing to do, but unfortunately, real estate can be very complex. It's very risky. It's complicated. It's convoluted. And long story short, at the end of the day, there are 1.3 million nonprofits in this country. Less than 0.5% of them will take real estate. If someone has $500 cash versus the deed to a $500,000 property, 99.9% of nonprofits will just take the cash. They say no to the real estate. And frankly, my friends, they should. They should. The problem is this: they don't have any expertise in this field. And even if Gerry and I both sit on their board and can give them all the advice in the world, they don't have the capital. What if there's mortgages to be paid off and roofs to be put on and holding costs? It's scary. They don't have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to put into property. They don't want to have mission drift. We don't want them to drift off their mission either. If their mission is to help kids or help veterans or conserve land, etc., that's what they should be doing, not dealing with real estate. They've heard about bad experiences, and even though some of them are blown out of proportion, a lot of them are very true. You'll hear the story about the nonprofit that took a piece of real estate 10 years ago, and they still have it because they don't know what to do with it. So, a lot of the nonprofits will actually accept real estate if it's on a very limited basis, if it's mortgage free, if it's local. So for those who do accept real estate, it's on a very limited basis. Most nonprofits have it written right in their bylaws that they won't accept any kind of major gift of asset, especially real estate. So the reason that the majority of us have never heard of this and it's just a new concept, even though it's been around for 100 years, is because it's just so damn risky. And if it's that risky and nonprofits won't take real estate, there's just been no reason to really talk about it. But here's the opportunity. $474 billion a year is given to nonprofits. 90% of that comes from cash. Yet, less than 3% of what we have as a nation is held in cash. Less than 3%. So whether a person makes $20,000 a year or $20 million a year, they've got less than 3% of that in cash. Yet that's what most of the nonprofits are going for, are the cash donation. Now, $9 billion of it does come from real estate. And whether that sounds like a lot or a little, it's only 2% of that $474 billion. But 43% of our wealth as a nation is held in real estate. So let me just make that kind of clear for you. Why is it that 90% of what nonprofits are bringing in are coming from less than 3% of cash, and only 2% of what they bring in is coming from the 43% of wealth that we have as a nation that is held in real estate? This is something that has boggled the minds of a lot of really smart people, and that's why there is a solution called a specialized nonprofit. So specifically, the one that we partner with, 4 guys came together about 20 years ago and said, hey, you know what? We all have all this commercial real estate experience. We are all philanthropic. We all sit on all these boards and want to help our nonprofit friends. What can we do? How can we help our nonprofit friends to be able to benefit from that 43% of wealth that we hold as a nation in real estate? So they created this thing called a specialized nonprofit that takes title and financial responsibility of the real estate. It allows the nonprofit world to benefit from the gifts of real estate with no risk, with no out-of-pocket expense, and with no need to actually accept real estate, but just benefit from the proceeds. So these logos are to give you an idea of just some of the nonprofits in this country that have benefited from gifts of real estate, specifically through our team. So Fidelity Charitables is one that we point out simply because it is the largest nonprofit in this country. Even they do not take their own gifts of real estate. United Way, Habitat for Humanity, all of these that you see here, none of them accepted real estate. They benefited from the proceeds because our team handled the transaction. All of these universities and more, churches and soup kitchens and public radio, All of these places, including any that you love, have and can benefit from gifts of real estate. So here's what it looks like. Property donor has a piece of property anywhere in the United States. And they say, you know what? We want to benefit a nonprofit. Let's call it the Boys and Girls Club. It's just one that we've spoken to recently. It's easy to say. So they want to benefit the Boys and Girls Club. What happens is the property donor donates the property. It goes through the specialized nonprofit who takes title, pays off mortgages, takes on all financial responsibility, et cetera, et cetera. And then when they list and liquidate the property, they give the proceeds to the nonprofit, in this case, the Boys and Girls Club that the donor wants it to go to. Now, let's just talk a little bit about the different benefits. There are three specific stakeholders in this. There's the nonprofit, there's the property donor, and there are the advisors like real estate agents who benefit from what we're talking about here. So here are just a few of the bullet point reasons why all of these folks benefit when there is a third party like our specialized nonprofit that does this for them. There is no risk for the nonprofit and all reward. Now, some nonprofits see this presentation and they want to go and do donations of real estate, accept them for themselves. God bless. We wish you all the luck in the world, but we can't guarantee that there's no risk if you're doing them on your own. Second of all, one of the benefits is there's no traditional fundraiser. So instead of the 3 to 6 months of planning and all of the time and talent and treasure that goes out to create a fundraiser, doesn't happen here. This is a very simple way of educating people. Now, average donation from one real estate donation is $550,000. That is a huge benefit to nonprofits who are used to holding these big fundraisers and selling $20 raffle tickets and having the galas and the golf tournaments and things. Large amount of money from one donor. And there's no need for new donors. What does that mean? That means the donors that the nonprofit already has, the donors the nonprofit already has, have pieces of real estate that they would donate. They just don't know because they've never asked. So in other words, those current donors can give 3 to 7 times more when they are able to gift a piece of real estate. Everyone has a Linda. So very, very, very important story. Nonprofit National Jewish Health has hundreds of millions of dollars they bring in a year. They have 300,000 donors. One of their donors' name is Linda. Linda's been giving them $25 a year for 32 years. A couple years ago, Linda learns that she can donate real estate. She has a piece of real estate. It's in the Poconos. It's a cabin. It is convenient for her to donate. The fact is, she lives 6 hours from this cabin. It needs a lot of repair. She doesn't have the time to do it. She doesn't have the money to put into it. She doesn't know what to do with it. So she donates the real estate. Our team takes care of it. And when the condo or the cabin is sold, $39,000 goes to National Jewish Health. Now, here's the thing. If they had taken those 300,000 donors and tried to put them in an order of who would donate real estate and who wouldn't, Linda's a wonderful supporter of theirs. She's been given $25 a year for 32 years, but no one would have pegged her as someone who would have given away real estate. What we want you to hear is everyone has a Linda. Everyone knows someone like that. Everyone knows someone who would donate real estate. We've just never had the conversation before, so how would we know? Also, Linda, after giving $25 a year, I just talked to the fundraiser who is connected to Linda about a month ago. She said Linda's been given $500 a year ever since she donated that real estate. In other words, it even increases their cash donations when donors start to give real estate. Now, here's another huge proven statistic. Dr. Russell James, good friend of the Real Agents of Change, he and his team read 1 million tax returns from 200,000 nonprofits over a 5-year period. They have proven that nonprofits who take non-cash assets like real estate grow at 6 times those who only take cash. And another benefit for nonprofits, if you do already take real estate, if you are one of those that will take a gift, if it's mortgage free and local and all that, imagine expanding and being able to benefit from real estate anywhere in the country and frankly, anywhere in the world. This gives our nonprofit friends the ability to leave the legacy that they were created to leave. Let's talk about why these donors donate real estate. Believe it or not, the number one reason is convenience. Linda donated that property because it was convenient. She wanted it off her plate, out of her hands. It was a property she didn't use anymore and it had fallen into disrepair. For her to be able to hand the keys over and get a tax deduction was convenient for her. Now, it may not be convenient if the nonprofit is trying to figure it out on their own and having board meeting after board meeting. But when you have a third party like our specialized nonprofit who does this for a living, it's very convenient. The donor can receive partial cash payment. It's called a bargain sale. So let's say that the donor has a piece of real estate that's valued at $1 million. And they say, you know what, we love the Boys and Girls Club, but we don't love them that much. We'd like to get our $300,000 we paid for it 10 years ago back out. They can. They can get cash out to pay off mortgages, to buy life insurance policy, to replace that inheritance for the kids. They can buy stock, they can go on vacation, they can do whatever they want with it. They can't pull cash out. They can give smarter friends from their wealth bucket versus that cash reserve. Now remember, the cash reserve is less than 3% of what they have access to, but 43% of their wealth is held in real estate. This is a smarter way for people to give to the causes they care about. There is no capital gains tax paid on that which they donate. And they can leave a legacy. 80% of people who donate real estate do it because they love the nonprofit that they're donating to and they want to leave legacy. Let's talk for just a second about how this benefits the advisors. Advisors meaning anyone that would advise people who own real estate. Could be CPA, could be estate planning attorneys, it could be financial advisors, could be realtors. Number one, they can make money making a difference. So for example, when these different advisors are able to advise their clients about how to give smarter, they can actually make money from the fees and the commissions and things that they earn from letting these people know. They're making a difference with these folks and making money at the same time. They can support lots of causes. Look, I know lots of real estate agents that are helping their church, and they're helping this animal group, and they're helping the soup kitchen. But there's only so much time. There's only so much money they can give. Now they can help dozens, hundreds of nonprofits in their area. They have a unique sales proposition. When I was in real estate, we were constantly trying to figure out a new way to show up, a way to stand out and be seen and be different. This is unique. No other realtor in the marketplaces, no other financial advisor, no other CPAs are focusing on this. We know because we're the only organization that is actually teaching how this works to all these organizations. This opens doors to the high net worth. This gives them access to clients that they might not normally have access to. It solidifies those relationships with the clients that they already have. This is creating charitable real estate divisions, credibility in all major markets of the United States. And specifically for the real estate agents, well, it pays them a full commission. When a piece of real estate is donated and the specialized nonprofit takes title, the very first thing they need to do is put that property on the market so that they can liquidate it, so that they can give the cash to the nonprofits that the donor wants to have it. So the real estate agents, we want them to know, even though we're helping people give property away, we're not expecting them to do this for free. We want to pay them a full commission. And the second part of that sentence, increases assets under management, that's focused on the financial advisors. See, financial advisors make money from fees from the assets that they have under management. And there's lots of ways that this adds. We want to help people become reactive versus proactive. Knowledge allows you to be reactive, meaning now that you've learned that charitable gifting of real estate's been around for 100 years and $9 billion a year is donated, and now that we know that the average donation's over $500,000, it's great to know that, but what are you going to do with it? In other words, if someone were to bring it up at a cocktail party, you could react to this knowledge, but what we want to do is to help give you action steps and support that lead you to being proactive, meaning that nonprofit can now proactively, with confidence, talk to their donors about this. The real estate agent or the financial advisor can proactively go out and tell the community, listen, there's a better way to fund the causes that we care about. See, knowledge is not power until it is applied. And that's exactly what the Real Agents of Change, the ROC, have been created for. See, we provide the vetted resources and relationships. We have found the specialized nonprofits that you want to work with, the ones who keep the least, give the most, pay the full commissions to the real estate agents, and will work with any and all nonprofits that the donor wants the money to go to. We have created the emails and the social media posts and the overall cause marketing campaigns that any and all folks who want to promote this can use. We are launching a national database early this year that will be featuring our charitable real estate specialists and vetted resources right on the website. We have the only programs that create the charitable real estate specialists and the charitable real estate divisions. We are the only organized body that is providing education and information and certification to leverage how this can work for the nonprofits, the realtors, etc. We are visionary. We teach collaboration. We don't understand competition. Everyone comes together at the Real Agents of Change to make money making a difference. So now that you've gotten a little bit of an overview, now that you know kind of what charitable real estate is, we find that there are 4 different kinds of people who are sitting in on these presentations. Now, this first one, I haven't met one yet, but just in case this is you, there are people who could show up here and say, you know what, I don't know a nonprofit. I don't really care about doing anything in my community. I don't know realtors or financial advisors. This is just not something that I need. If that's you, look, thank you for coming. We appreciate that you came and learned something new. And we want you to keep us in mind, because as you go to New Year's parties and birthday parties and business networking events, and as you're at work and just out there meeting and mingling with people, you're going to be hearing more and more about charitable real estate. So now you'll know where to come to get more information. But more likely, you're one of these next 3. You could potentially have a piece of property that you say, oh my God, we've got this piece of property. I wonder if it would qualify. You can fill out a evaluation form that we have. The evaluation form is really simple. It asks the basic questions about your real estate. We put you in contact with the specialized nonprofit. They help you to evaluate whether or not this is a good business decision for you. And if it is, awesome. You've made a donation of real estate. Happens every day, all day. Or you could say to yourself, well, you know, I get the concept, like it makes sense, but I need to learn a little bit more. No worries, we got you covered with that too. We've got the rock.com FAQs. Those are the top 10 most asked questions. We've got interviews on our YouTube channel that you can go to and learn more about the specialized nonprofit, about Dr. James and why he supports us, and about all the other 50 or so interviews that we have there. You can sit in on the deep dive. So we have the Charitable Real Estate Masterclass. It is free on the third Tuesday of the month. Happy to have you sit in. You can also watch it online. We have an online version of that now. And the fourth kind of person is the kind of person who says, holy cow, you're telling me that the nonprofit I love that's struggling for funding can 6 times what they're currently bringing in from the people they already know, they just didn't know they could. My God, I know people that need to know about this. So in other words, you could be saying your board needs to know about this, your nonprofit board. It could be that you're on the board already and you're like, you know what? Our donors need to understand how this works. It could be that you're a real estate agent and you know that your real estate company would like to make full commission and be a part of what we're doing. Financial services companies, look, financial service people know that giving a piece of real estate to a nonprofit is a great tax deduction. They've just never known a nonprofit that would actually accept the real estate. It could be that you've got a book of clients that needs to know about this, or you have a real estate investor group or that nonprofit networking group that you belong to. The point is, if you're thinking to yourself, I know people that need to know about this, well, then you can have a presentation like this too. Like, in other words, your donors deserve to know a better way, a smarter way to give. Your real estate agents deserve to know that we need listing agents. Maybe the nonprofit that you love needs to know that there's a better way that they can get funded. So if that resonates with you, let us know. These are a couple of our upcoming resources. Legacy Listings, Real Estate for Real Change is the book that we have coming out early 2022. We've created National List the Legacy Listing Month, which will be in the month of April, letting all of our friends know that when they list a legacy listing, they are able to give an average of $550,000 to the nonprofits they love. This is some of my contact information. Just going to leave this on the screen for a minute. Feel free to write it down or put it on pause if you're watching the replay afterwards. We just really want to thank you for taking this 30 minutes or so to learn about something that is changing the way nonprofits are getting funded. Experts say that the $9 billion, which is 2% of what nonprofits bring in, experts are saying that because real estate is 43% of our wealth in this nation, that 2% will shift to a lousy 6%. And when it does, as it does, over the time of it shifting, friends, that brings us from $9 billion a year to $29 billion a year to the nonprofits that we love. And every $1 billion that is added to the pipeline is another $50 million in commission to the real estate professionals. So on that note, I just want to bring this presentation to an end and encourage you to reach out to Gerry or myself if you have any questions or if you know a group that needs to hear about what we're doing. Thank you.